Good morning, human geography students. This video is a quick walkthrough of our course. A quick comment for those of you that are in class. If I'm not in there and I'm teaching remotely, you have a supervising teacher in there, and I would ask that you please honor anything that he or she asks of you. And thank you to that person for filling in. It's important that you stay in your seats during class time due to contact tracing. And if we want to continue to have school in person, we have to strictly adhere to that, because if we start breaking those protocols, that's when the system falls apart and we might run the risk of having to go back to full-time distance learning as a result of that. So please, please honor the seating chart that you establish on day one. Next, want to remind you that if I'm not in person, that I still am your teacher for the course. And if you have any questions, please direct them to me. The person who is in the room is strictly there to just make sure that the room operates according to the safety protocols that have to be in place. So all course content questions should be directed to me. And there are some different ways that we'll go over that you can get in touch with me to ask me those questions. All right, so if you're virtual, then now I would say we can all pay attention to what we're talking about here. And I'm going to be grabbing my iPad and just walking you through the course using the iPad and what it's going to look like to you. So we're going to use last semester's human geography course as just our example, since there are things already available and entered, so you get a good sense of what the course will look like. The first thing that I want to point out to you is that your main page should be your materials page. It should be your first stop when you log on to the course. And what you'll find on our main materials page is you'll see, if you are a virtual learner, you have a daily attendance question that you will need to answer by 3 p.m. every day to be counted present. This is the most reliable and only way that I will be taking attendance for you. So daily, do this by 3 p.m. What it means is that you could be doing classwork after 3 p.m. and I'm ecstatic if that's what you're doing, but you just need to spend the 15 to 30 seconds necessary to check in so I can mark you present for the day. Attending a Google meeting is encouraged, but I don't always receive a notification on who attended those meetings or who didn't. The daily attendance question is my foolproof way of making sure that we have attendance. As far as a Google Meet goes, and this is how I'll be broadcasting to class, and this is also how, if you're working from home, you can see me live in real time during our class period. You can ask me questions in real time. I have two different ways in which you can connect with our class. The first is some quick buttons, as I call them in our class. They were called hour links last semester. But on the graphic, if you were to tap on the green button, it'll take you right to our Hour 2 Google Meet class. When I have office hours in the afternoon or on Thursday evenings, if you tap on that blue button, it will take you to the Google Meet that I have office hours in. Now, if I'm not in those meetings, you'll tap on those buttons, but nobody will be there. So just know that those will be available during the times that are listed in the graphic up here. And you may have to zoom in on it so you can read those things better. Another place that you have the opportunity to log into Google Meet would be in this green folder. Some students, for whatever reason, don't trust or don't like the graphic. So we've got those same buttons are shared with you as links. So if you want to go to our class for Hour 2, you click on that link and it'll open up the Meet for you. If you want to see me in office hours, you can click on that link and it'll take you to our office hours. The next piece that I want to point out to you as we go through the course is the current folder versus the completed folder. So the work that we will do in a given week will appear in the current folder. Anything that we have covered in previous weeks will be moved from the current folder to the completed folder. Along with that, what I want to point out to you, and some students have found this useful, not every student does, but the little calendar icon that's in the upcoming segment of the course gives you a calendar of what we've covered. Again, this is back in Hexmester 2.2. So you can see the end of the Hex, we had a final project that was due in it. And what's even better or nice about that is if you click on that assignment, it's going to take you to a window where you can go and view the item. You won't get to edit it. That's just my teacher permissions allow that. But you can see here things that we did throughout February in that course. And these are the due dates on those activities or assignments that we do. So some students have asked, can I get a daily update or a place where I can go daily to see what has been done or when things are due? This calendar serves as a nice way to do that. The reason that other students have asked that is when you look in our folders, the way the course is set up, I'll go to the completed folder because that's where the work for 2.2 is located now. Each folder contains a week's worth of work, what we covered in that given week. And then within that folder, there are the materials there for you, and we're broken down by day. So then you could look in on, say, a Tuesday and see, okay, we had to do the Saudi Arabia documentary. There are some instructions, the assignments located there. There are even some extension activities. So if you're trying to go back and figure out what you missed on a given day, you want to go through the folders to get all the materials that are necessary that were used during class on that given day. The last portion that I'm going to point out to you on this materials page is your resources. And at this time, all you'll see is a back to hybrid PowerPoint from administration. And this video that you're seeing now will be housed here as well. Other materials, if they come up as just a resource or announcements that need to be kept in that folder, I will put there as needed. Couple other features that I want to point out to you that are very important for this class for your Schoology page. One, you're going to be asked to check your grades. And so over on the left-hand side, I believe you should have a link to either gradebook or grades. You're going to want to click on that and see which assignments you have submitted and then have been scored. Sometimes you get an assignment in, maybe it hasn't been scored yet. If it's been a few days, it doesn't hurt to ask when I'm going to be able to get around to scoring it. And one easy way for you to do that is utilize the messenger in Schoology. When you open that up, you can see you get messages from people. I'm not going to let you read what other students have said, but when you do that, you can send me a message and I will get a notification. A little number will appear here, kind of like all the alerts have it. And I try to get to those as soon as I see them. So usually within probably about a half hour or so. If I'm presenting live, probably wouldn't get to it until after I'm done presenting. So that's grades. That's using Schoology Messenger. The other piece that I want to stress the importance of to you is the updates. When you see there's a number in the updates, make sure that you check it. I try not to overuse it, but I do send out important messages there, and I'm not going to put something in an update if it isn't important and something you shouldn't read. So you are responsible for managing your materials page, making sure you're reading and checking updates as they come in, monitoring your grades. Those are the three important pieces to Schoology that you must do to be successful in this course. Been too many students in the past year who willfully ignore the updates page. And you can even change the settings so you get a notification when I do send out an update. That's going to be in your settings, your course settings. But make sure that you pay attention to those. That is one surefire way that I can pass along messages to you. If you look at last trimester, we did an in-class activity with the Jamboard. I had to give, let's see, directions as to which classroom people were going to be in when they went back to the hybrid form. So anytime there are important announcements, I'm going to make those in the updates section. As far as the course goes, we'll give you one last piece here and just talk about what are we going to be covering. If I go in the completed folder, I think that gives us a good overview of what we're looking at. In weeks 1 and 2, we'll be looking at cultural geography. In weeks 3 and 4, we'll cover political geography. In week 5, we'll look at urban geography. And then the final week, we're going to put together concepts that we've learned in both Geography A and Geography B into a final assignment where you are discovering and telling me about a developing country. So that's your overview. Thank you for tuning in. Please message me in Schoology if you have questions.